Well, it's day 2 of the federal Liberal Party's caucus meetings in BC.
Our Parliament Hill correspondent Glen McGregor joining now from Nanaimo, where former Bank of Canada governor and new Liberal economic advisor Mark Carney set to take center stage. So let's talk about what's on the docket, Glen.
Justin Trudeau is meeting with his full caucus of Liberal MPs, really for the first time since the spring when Parliament recessed, and also the first time since the Liberals lost that key Toronto-St. Paul's by-election that has caused a lot of nervousness, a lot of concern amongst our caucus MPs looking ahead to what could be an election at any time now that the deal with the NDP to sustain the government in power until next year has fallen apart. So a lot of nervousness, but yes, Mark Carney is the star of the day here in Nanaimo. He is going to be speaking to MPs about Canada's economic situation, talking about ways the government can possibly improve it. And yesterday we learned that the Liberal Party, not the government, the Liberal Party had hired Carney on as a special advisor to the leader, that is Justin Trudeau, in his role as party leader, but not as prime minister. It's a key distinction because it's essentially a private arrangement between the Liberals and Mark Carney, not between the government and Mark Carney. Of course, Trudeau has wanted to bring Carney into the tent for a long time right now. Part of it, though, is that a lot of folks see Mark Carney as a potential successor to Justin Trudeau, but he can't really be named into a cabinet position because he doesn't have a seat in the House of Commons. Looks like Carney is going to wait for now anyway. And he's got a lot of private interests too. He works for a company called Brookfield Development, as well as being the chair of the international media conglomerate Bloomberg. So we're going to hear from Carney later today. He's going to address reporters this morning here in Nanaimo. We're expecting to hear from him about his approach, what he thinks Canada can do to turn around the economy and increase its kind of lackluster productivity numbers. Canada has really trailed a lot of our G7 peers in terms of productivity, that is the growth, the wealth produced per worker. So we're going to hear from him. But so far, kind of open arm reception here for Mark Carney. Here's what Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland had to say about him coming on as an advisor.
Mark is a friend of a personal friend of very long standing. He's someone who I talk to often and whom I've talked to often about economic policy since becoming finance minister. I had a long conversation with him over the weekend. It's really great for our team to have Mark providing advice to the Liberal Party so that we can support Canada and Canadians.
So a lot of Liberals think this is good news for the party. This is going to give them some more credibility on the economic front. But what they're really expecting is to hear something from Justin Trudeau over the next 2 days of these national caucus meetings about what he's going to do to reverse the party's fortune, close that massive gap that they're trailing in the polls behind Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party. We'll see if Trudeau gives any kind of plan, any kind of talk of a reboot of his party, a reset to try and reverse things. Mel Fiza before the House of Commons resumes next week.
Everyone wants to know what the strategy is moving forward. Glen McGregor in Nanaimo, BC. Appreciate the update. Thank you.